Hey folks, Phil here. I wanted to share with you some thoughts I had in regards to what's going on in our world today, right, with this pandemic and how it's affecting people. And one of the things that I've been thinking about and actually training on is the idea of being more resilient and how to build resilience in the workplace. And I was thinking about this, and it's just not in the workplace that we need to be resilient. We need to be resilient in all areas of our lives, right? Where we're dealing with all kinds of crazy stuff that we haven't experienced in the past, and how important it is to be able to push through some of the adversities that we're facing. I mean, people are isolated, people are depressed, people are committing suicide. There's so much going on here that can be so detrimental to our society that I really believe that if we as a group, as a society, can help each other be more resilient, we can get through anything. And so I thought of three things that I thought were really important when it comes to building resilience, and I wanted to share them with you today. And the third one is so important that I want to make sure that you stick around for it, because really, as I thought about this one, it really had a huge impact on me emotionally, and I want to share that with you. So the first one is, you should have a really big goal, right? If we don't have any goals to shoot for, then everything becomes insurmountable. All the things that happen to us, whether it's the lockdown or not being able to work anymore, or working from home, or dealing with children that are struggling trying to get through their schoolwork, all those become insurmountable if there isn't a really big goal to be shooting for. So we have to have a big goal. Let me share with you an illustration that I typically do in some of my trainings that might help you understand how important the goal is, right? So hopefully you can see this. I know there might be a little bit of a glare here, but we need to have a really big goal, okay, that we're shooting for, something that's lofty, something that we're striving for. Because ultimately, even though we might be here right now trying to get there, it's never this linear. Really, life is more like this. We're striving for our goal, but this stuff happens, right? All of this stuff happens on the way there. You probably experienced this today, right? And people get caught up in all of this. They get mired by the stuff that happens in their life. This is challenges or adversity that shows up in our life that we didn't anticipate on our way to our goal. And when people don't have a high level of resilience, they get caught up in this. They start to get mired by this and complain about it and talk about it and get upset about it or sad or anxious or depressed about it. And they kind of live in here versus what a person who has more resilience would do was be focused here on the goal. And here's why people get stuck in here and complain about it and curl up in a ball and cry about it, is because the goal isn't big enough. You see, I believe if the goal is big enough, then the adversity becomes more trivial. If the goal is big enough, the circumstances, the challenges that come into our life become smaller, right? The bigger the goal, the smaller the adversity. If the goal isn't big enough, then this becomes insurmountable. If this is bigger than the goal, we get caught up in it. So number one, you have to have a really lofty goal that when things come in to your life that you didn't anticipate, you just knock them out of the way because the goal is too big, right, for you to not go after. It's too important to you to not go after. So you build resilience when we are able to push away adversity, push away those things, work through them and manage them. I'm not saying you ignore this, right? You manage through it, focused here on the goal, and you'll build resilience. Number two, and I believe that this one, hopefully you're all doing already. Number two is to be grateful for the things that you do have in your life, right? Yeah, you might be stuck at home, but you should be grateful that you have a home. Yeah, maybe you're working from home, but you should be grateful that you're working. Maybe your children are, at home and having to do schooling via Zoom or whatever it is, and it's difficult for them. But at least maybe you have these children that are healthy that you can be with and help along the way, right? If we focus on the things that aren't good, then those things expand and grow, right? What you focus on grows. If you're focusing on, I'm stuck at home, I can't enjoy my life, my children are this, my work is more difficult. If you focus on those things, what you focus on grows. So focus on the things that you're grateful for in your life so that those things grow, right? Maybe you're stuck at home, but like I said, there are people that are living in tents somewhere, right? So think about this, right? You have lots to be grateful for. And for those of you that maybe aren't living in the safest home or the most healthy home, right? If you've chosen to stay there, then try to find something to be grateful for while you're still there, right? Or find your way out of there, okay? And so now here's the one that really kind of struck me. I heard a quote recently. This is about children, right? But I want to relate this to you as well. I had heard a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it here. But for a child to be truly successful in life, there's one fundamental thing that they really need, and that is an adult who just loves the heck out of them, right? Who's just crazy about them. Now think about this for a moment. A child needs somebody in their life that's crazy about them, and children today are struggling with what we're going through, right? Hopefully you know some child that you can be that person that's crazy about that child and lets them know that, loves on them, and is just absolutely crazy about them. If you can be that for that child will build resilience, right? That child will be able to overcome some of the adversities that they're facing, knowing that there's somebody that loves on them so much. And I thought about this idea in this quote, and I realized that if as a society we really and truly want to become more resilient, we need to have those types of people in our lives too as an adult, right? You know, I know that I have people in my life that love the heck out of me. My wife loves the heck out of me. And so when I have adversity, which I often do, I lean on that love for me. And so it gets me through that. It makes me more resilient knowing that I have someone that loves me. And so for me, it allows me to push through and do whatever I need to do to get through this and continue to build on my resilience for her, for the love that she has in me. And of course, there are other people in my life that I believe love me as well, not just my wife. And so I'm fortunate and blessed. And you might be too, okay? If you don't, feel like you have that in your life, right? You need to seek that out as quickly as possible, right? Do your best to get out there and find somebody that can love on you. So here's my thought about building resilience as a society. Why don't we all do that for somebody, not just a child, but for an adult? Why don't you find some adult who might be struggling today, who maybe you feel doesn't have somebody who loves the heck out of them, and go love the heck out of them. I mean, really, truly do this, right? It could be a coworker who everybody's annoyed by, right? They're just annoyed by because, they're obnoxious or whatever, right? That's just who they are. And so they don't have people they feel that love on them. Why can't you be that person, help them build some resilience, right? Maybe it would change their life. Or maybe it's a family member that annoys you, and it's that person that everybody complains about in the family, and that person probably feels like nobody loves on them either. Maybe you can be the person that loves the heck out of that person. Just doing these things, right, where you could love the heck out of somebody that maybe people don't typically love the heck out of, might change how they behave, right? If you want people to change, then you've got to change. And so if we can go out there, each and every one of us, and find one person, at least one person, that we feel may not be loved on, maybe we could be that person to love on them, just like a child, could be the most important thing, the most fundamental thing to make that person successful. If you like this video, make sure you share it with somebody and like it, of course. If you think somebody could use this message, please share it with them. And if you want to hear more of these messages and you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. I try to shoot videos as often as possible and try to add value as often as possible. I hope this added value to your life.